Okay, my name is Richard Tan. I'm very, very happy to be here. Now, what I'm going to do is, first of all, I want to share with you what I'm going to cover today. Would that be okay? Huh? And you must thank me actually, because I get you out of your classroom, right? So you have some break here, okay. Then later on, what I'm going to do is, first of all, I'm going to share with you what I'm going to cover today. Then a little bit about myself, and then at the end of it, maybe I can answer some question. Would that be okay? Yeah, okay. Okay. Should I repeat myself? Yeah, just kidding, okay. Right. Now, we have been in business for the last 20 years, and I tell you this, I started this business a little bit quite by accident. I'm an engineer by training. How many of you in this room here, you aim to be an engineer? Okay. Engineer are actually very smart people, right? Just kidding. So I'm actually an engineer by training, and during those days, in the late 80s, the oil price actually went down. Now today, is the oil price high or low? The oil price high or low? Well, it's about 100 over US dollar per barrel. But those days, the oil price actually went down to about 20 US dollar per barrel. So my company, my boss actually at that time was telling me the oil price went so low that every oil company want to cap the well, because every barrel of oil that came out from the ground, the oil company lose money, right? So true enough, how many of you here, when you graduate, you want to work for American company? But let me just warn you first. American company may pay you very well when times are good, but they get rid of you very fast when times are bad. I was working for American company. So when times are bad, they actually asked me to go very, very fast. Now, when you work for oil company, there is no day or night, because oil you can't stop the oil from flowing, right? So I work from 12 mid. Our shift is 12 hours, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. and 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. You work on shift. So every time you work for 3, you get off 1 week, right? 3 weeks off, 3 weeks, 1 week off. Now we work on Christmas Day. We work on Christmas Day. We work on New Year Day. We work every day, right? So when we were laid off, many of my friends were really very upset. Hey, it's not fair. We work on New Year Day. We work on Christmas Day. We work on holiday and all this. Now they don't need us. They get rid of us. So they were really upset and angry. But I felt a little bit less upset, because at last somebody actually forced me to go on holiday, right? I didn't really got upset. So the lesson here is this. Sometimes things do happen to us, but sometimes things, our environment do affect us. But unless we give them permission to upset us, we don't need to give them permission to upset us. If you cross the road, if somebody horn at you, you can come to the class, you can get very upset. You say, just now that guy, I want to punch that guy. The whole day, everything goes wrong. There's your teacher throw chalk at you. I don't know if they allow. Your lecturer throw chalk at you. And things just get upset. But if you don't let environment affect you, you may not get upset. Now, how many of you here, sitting in this room here, have good friends that always get you into trouble? Okay. Always, huh? So I also have a friend that I grew up together with that always get me into trouble. He's the one that introduced me a girl that become my wife. So he knows that I'm out of job, and he volunteered me to help a non-profit organization run a conference. I was there as a volunteer, right? So he knows that our job. He said, hey, Richard, I know you haven't found a job. I have volunteered you to help in a non-profit organization, since you haven't found a job. So I went there to help a non-profit organization run a conference. After the conference is over, somebody said to me, Richard, you look like a good organizer. Why don't you do it full time? Why not, I've been doing that full time from that day till today. So it's kind of quite by accident. I want to say this to you is that I was there as a volunteer. There were many, besides myself, there are many volunteers. I remember one volunteer, there was one volunteer, he was from a life insurance company. And while volunteering in the work, he was giving away name card. He was giving a name card to one another, and this is my name card. If you want to buy insurance, you come to me, and go to another person. So he was volunteering, but he was also giving away name card to solicit for business. And at the end of it, nobody kind of you want me to repeat everything again? Okay. Can you hear me? If you can hear me, give me a big hand. Come on. I'm just kidding, Okay. Now what was? No. So there was other volunteer there that were like volunteering, but they have an ulterior motive. They were there like soliciting for business or for other things, And there were other volunteers there. There was guys, they were volunteering in a non-profit organization, but they were looking for a girlfriend, right? They were trying to impress someone, At the end of it, sometimes, I don't know, in the Hindu religion, there may be a word called karma, or in English, I call it precession. Sometimes when you do something, the universe will reward you. If you have a good heart, right? You see, the thing here is, I was there to help in a non-profit organization. I have no ulterior motive. I'm just there to help. And somebody noticed me and said, hey, this guy's quite good, in organizing things. See, I was not there to impress some girls or things like that. Even though one girl there was very impressed by me because, right? Now, then if you contribute to society with a pure heart, right? Somehow the universe will reward you in some way. Yeah. So that is a lesson that I learned. I got into this quite by accident, and the first conference that I organized, so from that experience, I realized that if you run a small conference and a big conference, it takes the same amount of time. How many of you here have organized a party or something before? How many of you organized something before? You from your experience, how many of you have this experience that whether you organize a small event or a big thing, it takes the same amount of time and resources. Yeah? Right now. So if you organize something for 50 people and organize something for 200 people, it takes the same, almost the same amount of time and resources. Yeah? I want to ask you this. If you take the same amount of time and resources to organize a small event or a big event, do you want to organize the big one or the small one? You guys are not greedy like me. Okay? So I was thinking, hey, if I organize a small event and a big event, it almost takes the same amount of time. Then just like you, I said, let's organize a big one. Now I come from a very small place called Singapore, right? And you don't know how small Singapore is. Singapore is about 45 kilometers wide and 25 kilometers from north to south. If you drive, for half an hour in Singapore, you drop into the sea. Of course, Singapore not much traffic jam, so half an hour is quite far. Here, probably you You drive like 1 hour, you drop into the sea. So Singapore is a very small place. In Singapore, the biggest venue in Singapore is called the Singapore Indoor Stadium. Singapore Indoor Stadium, they can take about 10,000 people. The 10,000 people can sit one leg, Is it one leg? No, sorry, not one leg. One leg, 100,000. 10,000 people can sit in the Singapore Indoor Stadium. Now, if the Singapore Indoor Stadium can take about 10,000 people, what should my goal be? How many people should I put inside the room? 10,000. Yeah, that's right, 10,000. I work very, very hard. I never get 10,000 people. I only got 5,000 people in the seminar. Now, it was sometime later that I realized that the 5,000 people was the largest business seminar ever organized in Singapore. It was the largest business seminar ever organized in Singapore. I did not know about that. You see, the thing here is this, I have never gone through a formal training how to organize a conference or a seminar. Prior before that, I've never done that before. I've never worked for somebody that runs a conference or seminar. I've never gone through a proper college or university, that teach you how to run a conference or a seminar. And by accident, I organized the largest seminar in Singapore. Now, the lesson here is this. Today, on the street in Delhi, there are many, many young people, there are many, many professionals, they are very educated, they are very talented, but they are waiting to know about everything to start to do something. The lesson here is this. You don't need to know everything to start doing something. Give somebody next to you a high five and say, you don't need to know everything to start doing something. Why don't you know how to do a high five? You dare not to touch the girl next to you, right? Okay, I allow you to do that. So you don't need to know about everything to start to do something. Now, we run conference in Japan, in Italy, in Germany. Now, I want to tell you this. I don't know how to speak Japanese. Maybe the only word I can know is sushi, sashimi, Sony, so that's what I know, right? I can't speak German, I can't speak Italian, but we do events there. So, you don't need to know everything to start doing something in real life, right? So, I was running, so we started to do the event in Singapore, and I started to Singapore, then Malaysia, and eventually with Asia, and then eventually all over the world. So this is the event we do in Singapore, right? And then